Hi everybody! In this tutorial I am going to be showing you how to create your very own self-portrait in the style of the pop artist Andy Warhol, and we're going to be using the design software Adobe Photoshop. Now the first thing you want to do is open the photo that you're going to be using. So you need to go up to File, Open, find your photo and double click to open it. Now there are a couple of windows that are going to really help you with this tutorial to have open while you're doing it. So you want to go up to Window and make sure that you've definitely got your Layers palette selected, and that will be a little window that opens on the right hand side of the screen here. And then another window that's really useful to have is your History window. And as you move through this task and complete different actions, they will appear here on the right hand side in the history panel. So if you go wrong or you need to undo one or a couple of steps, you can just click back or click up and it will undo those actions. So that's really useful to have open. So the first thing you need to do is you need to select around your person in the photo, or persons if you've got more than one. And we're going to use the lasso tool, which is over on the left hand side in the toolbar, and it's the third one down here. If you hover over it, it should come up with the words lasso tool. But we actually want to use a slightly different lasso tool, so we're going to right click and we're going to select the polygonal lasso tool here. Now when you click with the lasso tool, you'll notice that it drags out a line, which is exactly what you want to happen. So you're going to make a series of small clicks around your person, around their hair, their shoulders. And you don't want to be too slow with doing this, because if you are too slow and you hesitate, it will join itself back up to the beginning. But try not to rush. So you don't want to end up cutting off any hair or any ears, but you don't need to be too precise at this stage with this selection. So just keep a steady pace. Go around the silhouette of the hair, and then if you've got any more people in your picture, make sure you've gone around those as well. So back down to the other shoulder, and then what I tend to do is go off the page, down around the bottom, and then if you double click, it will take it back to the beginning and it will make the selection. And you know that it's selected because you'll get this line of running ants appearing around your persons or around your selection. So we want to make that into a new layer. So we're going to go Layer, New, Layer via Copy. And you can see you can also press Ctrl J as a shortcut. And you'll have a new layer appear here on the right hand side. Going to make that layers palette a little bit bigger, and I want to rename that, so I'm going to double click exactly where it says layer 1 and I'm going to rename it Threshold and press enter. Now going back to our background layer, if you select that again, you're going to go down to the bottom of the layers palette here and hover over this middle button, and that's called Create New Fill or Adjustment Layer. So click on that, go up to the top of the pop-up box that says Solid Colour, and then you're going to pick a really nice, bright, vibrant colour for your background. So I'm going to pick a really nice pink colour and press OK, and you can see that that's changed on my main picture now. Now, next step is to go up to the threshold layer and make sure that's selected. And then you're going to go up here to Image, Adjustments, Threshold, and you'll see this little box appear with a slider. Now what you want to do with this slider is go back and forth until you found a really nice balance of both highlights and shadows. So you don't want to go too high and have a washed out effect, and you don't want to go too low and have it too dark. You want a nice balance in the middle. So I'm going to go about there because I can see all of the features on my face, but it's not too dark and not too bright. And when you're happy, press OK. Now we actually want to get rid of all of the white of this layer. So you're going to go up to Select, Colour Range, and you'll have another box appear. And you just need to select an area of white on your original picture. So anywhere that's white, and not much will have happened, but when you press OK, you'll notice that it's selected all of the white of that layer. And now all you need to do is simply press delete on your keyboard, and that will delete the white. So you're just left with the black. Now we want to get rid of this selection. We don't want these running ants anymore. So pressing Control D will get rid of those. The next stage of the portrait is basically filling in different areas of your face and of your people in your picture with different colours. And to do that, we want to make each colour a different layer. So over in your layers palette over here, you want to make a new layer, which is this button here, next to the little bin. And if you hover over it, it says create a new layer. So press that and you'll see a new layer has popped up in your layers palette. We're going to rename it so we know what we're working with. So I'm going to rename this face by just double clicking on the text and pressing enter. And now what I want to do is select round my face and my neck, because I want to make that a different colour from the pink that I've got here. So I'm going to select round with my lasso tool. And again, I'm not being too careful because I've actually got a lot of black around the sides of my face, and you'll see why that's really useful in a second. If you haven't got as much black, or if you've got lots of hair around your face, you might need to be a bit more careful with your outline. And if you're missing any of the outline, you will sort of have to make it up and sort of guess where the edge of your face sits. So go right back to the beginning. You don't want to get any hair in that selection if you can help it. But go right back to the beginning and double click, and you will have that selection there. And if you've got another person in your picture and you need to select around their face, just press and hold down Shift, and that will allow you to make another selection in addition to the selection that you've just made. Okay, so press and hold down Shift and you can do another face on the same layer. Now that I've got that selection, I'm actually going to go back down here where it says create new fill or adjustment layer, back to solid colour, and you're going to pick a nice colour, nice bright colour for your face, which will appear on top of your photo. So it looks a bit odd at the moment, but don't worry. Select your colour, press OK. And then all we're going to do is we're going to grab this threshold layer and we're going to drag it up to the top of the layers palette. And when you do that, you'll see that your black detail will sit on top of that colour, and your colour should only show through the area that you want it to. Now we're going to do the same step for different areas of our face. So I'm going to do my hair now, and I'm going to speed it up because it's exactly the same as what I've just done. So I've made my selection and now I'm going to add colour. You do need to make sure that you're going around just your hair. So you want to come in and go round the outline of your face as well, so that you're not selecting any other area of your portrait. So you can see just my hair has been selected, and I'm going to go down to fill layer, solid colour, and then I'm going to pick a nice bright colour for my hair. Now again, it's sitting on top of the portrait, so I'm just going to grab the threshold layer and I'm going to pull that up to the top, and you'll see that the black detail then comes back and sits on top of that colour. So my next step I'm going to do is my eyeshadow. So you want to make a new layer here, and I'm going to call it eyeshadow. And with this, you want to select the area above your eye, but you don't want to go into your eyeball. So you need to be very careful here. I'm going to go up to my eyebrow and down to my eyelid, but I don't want to select any of my eyeball. So that's one done. And I want to add an area of selection here. So I'm going to press and hold down Shift. And that's going to allow me to make a second selection with the previous one still selected. So as I mentioned before, this is really good if you've got more than one person in your picture and you want to make more than one selection. So both bits of eyeshadow selected there, same process, fill it with a solid colour. I'm going to go with a nice yellow, press OK, and then make sure your threshold layer is sat on top. So the last layers I'm going to do are my lips and my necklace, because I can just see a little bit of background colour showing through my necklace. And if you've got any clothes or shirts or anything like that that are white or lighter areas and you want to fill those in with colour, then go ahead and do that as well. But one tip I will just mention for the lips, which I'm about to do, is try to only select a little bit of the top lip. You do want to select around most of the bottom lip. But if you select too much of the top lip, you're just going to look like a clown with lots of lipstick around your mouth. So only select a bit of the top lip, and you'll see me do that now. So there you go. I have selected my lips and I'm going to go for a nice bright red colour. And then drag threshold to the top. And the last thing I'm going to do is my necklace. And there you have it, your portrait is finished. Now, a really nice thing about this is if you decide to change any of your colours, or you're not happy with particular colours, or you want to just generally have a bit of a play around, then all you need to do is go over to your layers palette. You know which layers are which because you've named them. And if you want to change a colour, you just need to double click on the colour and you can just reselect a different colour, and you can see the preview as I'm clicking all of the different colours appearing on the screen. So it's really versatile and really adaptable and really changeable. Now, when you want to save your image, you just need to go to File, Save As. And there are two ways that you can save this. You can either save it as a Photoshop file, which is a PSD. You can see that here. And if you save it in that format, it means that you can go back and you can edit all of those layers. Or if you're very happy with all of your colours and you don't want to change any of it, if you click on the file type and just save it as a JPEG, that will flatten all of your layers and it will just make it one flat image that you can't go back and edit. Okay. So I'm going to save it as a JPEG. Just press OK. And there you have it, all done.